Who says puff puff has to be boring? Hey foodie, welcome to another mouth-watering episode inside Foodie's Mansion. Today I'm teaching you how to make this soft, milky and interesting puff puff. Yes, I said milky. Let's get started. So for this recipe, you're going to need 2 cups of water, warm water, but we're going to start out with 1¼ cups of water. Then you need half a cup of sugar. You're going to need 2¼ teaspoon of dry active yeast. Please make sure you tell whoever you're buying from to give you active yeast. Now you're going to combine this together by stirring it, and we're going to set it aside so that it can activate. While that is activating, we're going to combine our dry ingredients. For dry ingredients, you're going to need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. We're going to sieve that before we add other ingredients. Always remember to sieve your all-purpose flour because of impurities and then to incorporate air into your baking. Then you add half a teaspoon of salt. You're going to add half a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. You will need 3 tablespoons of milk. Mind you, if you know you don't want your batter to be too light, don't add milk to your recipe. And then you add half a teaspoon of milk flavor. You would lastly add 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavor, and then we mix all of them together. After mixing, we're going to check on our activating yeast mixture. Now, for you to know that your yeast has been activated, it's going to foam like this. You see, you're going to have bubbles, foam at the top of your mixture. Once it's set, you're going to add your dry ingredients to your yeast, your activated yeast. You want to add everything together and then start mixing. Remember at the beginning I told you that you would need 2 cups of water, but then I activated my yeast with 1¼ cups of warm water. Yes, you're going to use the remaining about 3/4 cups of water now. So after combining your dry and wet ingredients together, you're gradually going to start topping with warm water so that you don't over add water to your mixture. Do you understand? Because you don't want your mixture to be too watery. You want to beat it very, very well. This helps the whole puff process. You're going to beat it against your pan as I am doing here. So after doing this, you want to set it aside. Cover it with either kitchen towel or cling film. After covering this, you want to keep it in a warm and dark area in your house. It could be inside a cupboard, it could be in your oven if your oven is warm enough. I'll be putting mine in my oven because it's dark and warm in there. After covering with my cling film, I'm also going to top it with my kitchen towel because I want you to get as much warmth as possible. That warmth is going to help your puff puff to double in size. That's exactly what we want. This is the reason why you need your yeast to be very active.
A few moments later.
After about 40 minutes to 1 hour, your batter should double in size like mine has. So I just open this and I'm going to deflate it. So you're going to deflate your batter and beat it a little bit. You don't want to overbeat it because if you overbeat it, it will cause your puff puff to be tough on the outside and chewy, and you don't want that. So you just beat it a little bit and then we get frying. Now you're going to line your sieve with paper towel, and then you're going to oil your hand with vegetable oil. This will help you in putting your puff puff into the oil. so your hand can be slippery enough and then the butter won't stick so much to your hand. So I'm going to teach you how to put your puff puff into your oil. You're going to scoop some with your hand, and then you're going to pass the puff puff batter between your index finger and your thumb like this. You're just going to drop it, right? Let's do that again. You scoop some into your hand, and then you pass it between your index finger and your thumb like that, and you drop it. Now you're going to be using deep frying for this process. You don't want to use shallow frying. By deep frying, I mean your oil should be way above the bottom of your frying pan or your pot, whichever one you're using. If you use shallow frying, your puff puff is going to come out flat. But if you use the deep frying, you see how mine is rising to the top. Yes, it's going to rise to the top like this, and it's going to roll by itself when need be. And you want to put them close together, right? To make sure that you get the proper round shaped puff puff that you desire. Now, after adding your puff puff, you're going to let it fry for some time. You will notice that some of them will flip on their own while others may not flip on their own. So you're going to help them to turn. You just turn them, those ones that I find difficult to turn, you just touch them a little bit and you see them flipping. Some will end up not flipping. Don't worry, it's still going to fry well. So now once it's golden brown like this, it has gotten to this golden brown color, you want to take it out of your frying oil, because if you leave it any further, it's going to darken more and you would not really like it like that. So you just want it to be perfectly golden brown, and then you scoop it out of your frying oil and then set it aside to cool down. You can enjoy this with a cold drink or just itself. I promise you're going to enjoy this recipe. I'll fry the rest of the puff puff behind the camera and then I'll show you the result. Here we have it. This puff puff was so divine. It was yummy. It was soft. In fact, it was incredible. It's the type of puff puff that you want to show off to anyone. So I want to hear from you how yours went. Tell me if yours came out as delicious as mine. And I'll be waiting for you in the comment section. Thank you, foodie, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share. Bye, foodie.